Scrappy Peeps, it's Suzanna here today to share with you a new collaborative series. It's called Scale It Down that I'm doing with my scrappy friend Simone. This is the project that we're starting off with, and we're just starting off with scrapbooking in a traveler's notebook. I have these two pictures that are of sort of a side profile. It's not even a profile, a side shot of myself and the airplane wing on the way to Creativation this year out in Phoenix, Arizona. And I am making a shaker pocket to go on the left-hand side of this double page spread here. So I cut down a piece of white cardstock to the same size as the traveler's notebook, as well as a piece of vellum, because I'm going to use the vellum for the shaker pocket. The whole point of this series is that Simone and I want to try and show you how you can use your scrapbook supplies that you already have on hand, that you don't have to go out and buy anything new, and use the exact same techniques that you're already using and document in a smaller, more sort of portable format. So each month we are aiming to introduce to you a different element to consider while scaling it down, thus the name of our series, and recording your memories in a traveler's notebook. So this notebook is nothing special. It's something that I got from Michael's. It's just a regular standard size traveler's notebook, and I believe this is a mixed media notebook, so the pages are a little bit thicker. So I'm trying to find the alignment of, well, I was trying to find the alignment, but what I've done is I've decided to go upstairs and sew along the long edges and the bottom edge of what is going to be the vellum pocket, which is no different than what I would do if I were creating a 12 by 12 or 8.5 by 11 scrapbook page. And just like I do with my other sewing, I am anchoring down those edges, and the vellum was a little bit longer, so I just trimmed that off, and now I'm going to set about filling the pocket with some goodies. These things here are things that I've pulled out from some old Martha Stewart sort of embellishments. And then I've got some sequins, and so I'm matching the colors from that piece of pattern paper. It's actually from a 4x6 paper pack from Pretty Little Studio. So I'm matching the pinks, the green, sort of a yellowy green, and those blues that are in there. And so I don't have the really nifty confetti punch from We Are Memory Keepers. So to circumnavigate that and go out and buy yet another tool, I'm just going to use my hole punch and punch those into that little black thing there so that I can create confetti. And because these papers are not double-sided, I have to be careful to sort of slide them in so that the pattern side is face up. It's not a big deal if you end up with the white, but in order to really get a good contrast of color, I really want those patterns to be side up. So this is just complimentary cardstock from Coordinations, and again, I'm just using my regular hole punch. I did go and find a smaller hole punch that I happen to have for some variation in size. So if you don't have the confetti punch from We Are Memory Keepers, you can use your hole punches. They work just fine, as well as some sequins and some small flowers. You could punch out flowers. So again, the whole point of scrapping in a traveler's notebook is to make it a little bit more portable. You can see I don't have a lot of things on my desk here, and I'm really just using smaller size scraps. That I happen to be using a 4x6 paper pack, but you could use plenty of scraps. You can see that the cardstocks here are scraps that I'm using to fill this confetti pocket with. And so I'm going to fill that pocket, and I wanted those flowers that you can see from that piece of pattern paper there. So I'm just going to fussy cut them, and I am going to speed this up because you don't need to see me laboriously fussy cutting this. So I'm going to cut these out incredibly quickly and stick them in the pocket, and then go upstairs and close off that shaker pocket. So I hope to see you back for more of this series. Simone and I are trying to show you how various different ways that you can translate your scrapbooking techniques into traveler's notebooks. So I'm going to just run upstairs, zip up the top of this shaker pocket to get ready to put into my traveler's notebook so that I can continue to build this spread. As always, I'm just going to clean off those threads, pull the front thread back with my tweezers, tidy that off with some tape. And then I'm going to run this through my Xyron Creative machine so that it's very sticky and I don't worry about it coming up. Sorry about my head there. And I'm going to stick that on the left-hand side of the page so that I can embellish this layout a little bit more. So this is going to be an ongoing traveler's notebook, sort of like a mini album in many ways, and this is going to be about my creativation experience. So this is me on the flight heading to Arizona, and there will be more pictures and more spreads that I will share with you in the weeks to come about my actual adventures there. So you can see I've already backed one of the pictures, and now I'm just sort of figuring out alignment. The same design principles apply to a traveler's notebook as you would use in your 12 by 12. You want to create a visual triangle, if at all possible, on your page, and you want to create movement on your page. And you'll see here that as I build this layout, I do actually try and have my alignment be that I am moving diagonally across the page from the bottom left up to the top right. I have movement in that shaker pocket, and to continue the movement from that left page to the right hand page, I have that tag with the twine that's off the top of it there. So because I've backed that window picture, I also want to back this picture of myself. It just creates some balance between the right page and the left page, and that piece of pattern paper that I used from Pretty Little Studio ties it together. That is the one piece of paper that has all of the colors that I'm going to use across the layout. So I have these tags. They are not part of the same collection. They're from a different collection, but one of the beautiful things about Pretty Little Studio is the colors in many of the collections complement each other. So I am using this tag, and I want to put a little bit of a layer underneath the tag. So I do have one of the vellum strips that complements, but it's very clean, and I wanted to just give it a ripped edge, and that vellum is hard to rip. So I used my Tim Holtz washi dispenser there to give that ripped edge to the vellum so that I could put that tag on top and again put that unity of colors in through there. And just for your information, that vellum tag that I put behind the window picture on the blue is from the dollar spot a while ago. Now I want to build a few more layers here, and so I've got puffy stickers from Cocoa Daisy, and that little sticker there, the puffy one next to the window, says this is our trip. And I had this washi that I really wanted to use. It had clouds because we were up in the clouds, and that inspired me to go and find this stamp. It's an old stamp. It's a Unity stamp. I've had it for quite some time. I couldn't find the date on it. I wanted to tell you the date. And originally I wanted to stamp blue because that's sort of cloud color to me. But I've got a lot of blue on that page, and I wanted to bring in a little bit more color from the color palette that I had chosen, and so I went with pink. And pink's fine. In fact, the pink ends up looking a lot better, and you can see how I played with the alignment of those photos. I originally had the taller one on the left, but in order to go with the movement, I ended up from that bottom left up to the top right, I ended up shifting it down. So I'm just going to stamp these using this pink Distress ink, and I really like that. I didn't think I was going to because I really want my clouds to be blue, but it's okay to break some of those rules. So you can see I'm pretty pleased with that. Double thumbs up. And so I'm committing to this, and then just am going to build a few more embellishment layers around this sort of central theme that I've got here. And then I really want to put a title because I've got that big empty space at the bottom of that picture there. By putting that heart where I put it up near the clouds up there, I have created that, finished that line really from the top right down to the bottom left. So now I have these letter stickers from Amy Tan or Tangerine, and I'm going to put in Arizona, and then I'm going to find a different set of letter stickers and put in bound. I thought I might like the lighter ones, but the darker ones are good. And something else that I do off camera is I put another heart near Arizona, and I have some teeny tiny puffy stickers from Michaels that are little flowers that I put on either side of Arizona, and you'll see those in the close-up pictures. And I thought I was finished, but I wanted a little more, so this is where I go in with a third flower to tie the right page into the left page. So there's the shaker I was shaking. So I put that flower into the right hand side. I wanted to shorten this twine here. I didn't want it hanging too far down into the picture, but I wanted the movement of that twine. So there's a little heart that I talked about earlier, as well as just a few other little embellishments. I liked the puffy camera. There was a lot of white space on the left-hand side of that picture, so I wanted to put a little something there that would just sort of tie everything in together. I found that pink arrow and just cut off the right hand side of it from Jilly Bean, and then I'm going to also take a memo pad from Carpe Diem Simple Stories just for a little splash of pink down the edge of that photo there for another extra paper layer. So that, my friends, is my Traveler's Notebook layout. I'm memory keeping in my Traveler's Notebooks, and I hope you join Simone and I every other Saturday for an update to this series. And then also hop over to Simone's blog, YouTube channel, and see what she's sharing with you today about our scaling it down and scrapbooking in your Traveler's Notebooks. Thanks for joining me today. Take care, and I hope to see you next Saturday for another episode.